Hello and welcome to round 6 of Grand Prix Columbus. I'm Ben Swartz, joined here in the booth by Marshall Sutcliffe, and we're bringing you Reed Duke on the left of your screen, playing against Shenhar on the right of your screen. There you get a good look at the players.
I think Shahar's won 2 Grand Prix already.
He has. He won Grand Prix San Diego at the end of last year, and this year he won Grand Prix Salt Lake City.
And he's a young dude too. He's 18 or 19. Yeah, he's an up-and-comer. And Reed Duke, he sort of
he's been around.
Cut his teeth on Magic Online.
Yeah, but he also won a Grand Prix this year too. He won Grand Prix Nashville. Nashville.
In impressive fashion, I'll say as well. It was a limited Grand Prix, and he really crushed it. All right, we're going to look at Shahar's hand. It looks like he has Lightning Helix, Scalding Tarn, 2 Lightning Bolts, and a Remand.
To go along with his Step Links that he played on turn 1.
Yeah. So Reed will be taking 4 damage if Shahar wills it so. This is going to be an interesting matchup in that I really like Shahar's deck. I like his choice of deck as well. This thing can put out an early threat, get in a bunch of damage, and then finish you off with Lightning Helix and Lightning Bolt. But I have to say, Reed's Duke, if it's just straight Jund, can kill any creature that hits the board pretty easily, including Geist of St. Traft. His deck should have Liliana of the Veil in it, which does a number on that. And Reed might be able to just grind out Shahar and basically just kill all of his threats.
So here Reed takes Remand. Sort of the reasoning behind that is Shahar has all this redundant burn, and if Reed wants to block Shahar's creature for the moment, he wants to be able to resolve his spells and not be stuttered by it for a turn. So
also, if Reed just wants to Lightning Bolt the Step Links, he can do that, and then the burn spells are much less impressive. Like holding 9 damage in your hand is a great thing, but when your opponent knows it, it's less good. And also, it's not like Shahar's only game plan. He needs to find an early creature to apply pressure with and then finish off with the burn, which he has here. But I'm assuming that Step Links is not long for this world.
I can't imagine. I mean, looking at Reed's deck, he's got a ton of answers.
He has a Terminate right on his top of his deck there, first card off.
Terminate, Lightning Bolt. He has a Grim Lavamancer, which is a little slower answer. Maelstrom Pulse. Jund Charm. Ton of things to deal with, just a lowly Step Links, and if Shahar doesn't, or even blocker like Tarmogoyf.
So and then also that Remand also made sure that there was an instant in the yard. So it looks like it's 1, 2, it's a 3/4 right now, I believe, which does a pretty good job of blocking his Step Links.
I mean, Shahar can spend all of his mana this turn and deal 6 damage to the Tarmogoyf if he wants.
Go ahead.
But to do that, to get in 2 damage, doesn't seem too smart. He really just needs another creature here.
Yeah.
And then he can start worrying about Reed's creatures.
Now Reed is going to be running Kitchen Finks, I'm assuming.
Yep, 2 Kitchen Finks.
Okay, so 2 of them, so not a ton, but that's a big card against Shahar's deck. His creatures have a tough time getting through a Finks, and a Finks, the life gate's very relevant as well.
For sure, especially when Reed knows that Shahar's got 9 points of burn in his hand.
Yeah,
that's
huge.
An extra couple turns maybe before life.
Okay. But Reed says, heck with it. I'm just going to play my Dark Confidant here anyway, and Helix is going to come down and go right to Reed's face. So this makes a lot of sense. Shahar says, look, if you're going to play a Bob, okay,
deals Reed 6 here, dropping him to 7.
Yeah, and he still has another Bolt in his hand, so Reed's at virtual 4 life, and he's got a Dark Confidant on board.
So yeah, if Reed...
That's a risky play by Reed.
Good.
I think what he might be thinking is...
Ooh, that's nice.
Look, one of 2 things has to happen. Either he's going to kill my Bob and I effectively gain 3 life, or I need to draw something quickly to be able to deal with Shahar's drop. But wow.
Ooh, so Shahar has drawn another Remand.
Yeah.
And it's going to Remand the Lightning that Reed
and
played.
Draws another Lightning Helix off that.
Did he?
Remand, yeah.
So he's going to go end step bolt you to 4.
He's got 2 Lightning Helixes and a Bolt in hand. Reed is not long for this world.
Yeah, so Reed's just going to get straight up burned out. I love that aspect of these decks, though. What's?
Yeah.
Reed's at 4.
Yeah.
He can just kill him right now, right? Or
He gets one more turn, but I was thinking maybe Reed could draw.
Because he needs another red source.
Right, Reed could draw Kitchen Finks, but that still would not save him. It would put him exactly at 6, and then 6 damage from Shenhar would spell the end of game for Reed. Reed doesn't know it yet, though.
He does not know it. He just drew a Bloodbraid Elf.
And he has to go and cast that, right?
Lightning?
No, he's going to go for the Blightning first. He wants to clear the way.
That's actually really good because Shenhar.
Yeah. That gains him 3 life because of the way that because Shenhar has to give up one of his Helix. Is that a Snapcaster?
Yep.
Oh. So what do you do if you're Shenhar here? Do you just Helix him and ditch the other 2? I mean, you get the life out of the Helix. If you Snapcaster, you get a threat on the board, and you can Lightning Bolt him to take him to 1, and then you still have the Snapcaster on board. That seems pretty relevant.
I think that might be a little better.
Because right now, Shenhar has inevitability. Like, as long as Bob is on the table, Shenhar just has to wait.
I mean, also, like, if Shenhar discards everything but Snapcaster, he can play Snapcaster in a turn, like you said, and Lightning Bolt, and then if he draws you know, a land or a Path to Exile, he's still drawing live to just killing Reed if Reed continues to reveal lands off Bob.
Oh, okay.
So I think that's what he does. He discards both Lightning Helixes and keeps the Snapcaster Mage.
He did.
And now Reed is considering
still just as big.
what he wants to do during his attack phase.
Looks like he wants to attack with both, but that's... Does that mean that he for sure has a removal spell for the links?
Yeah.
Then it otherwise...
If he draws a land, or kept a land, then Reed's... Or a fetch land, then Reed's dead on the spot.
Yeah.
I think...
And I mean, Reed has to know that Shenhar has something pretty spicy in his hand if he just ditched 2 Lightning Helix.
Yeah.
Just this guy? Okay. 13, right?
He's going to attack for, what, 5 or 6 or something?
It's, I believe, 4. Play Grim Lavamancer after combat. So there's another blocker there.
It's another blocker. He can also kill his Bob with it.
That's true.
I mean, he needs to survive another thing. But
Yep, Reed goes down to 1 here. Snapcaster giving flashback to Lightning Bolt.
play a land, trigger, attack with both. Well, he gets the Bob off the table here this way.
Yep.
Although the Steplinks being a 2/3 is pretty advantageous here because it is going to survive this combat step unless...
And still be a 2/3 on the following turn because of Arid Mesa.
Yeah, so Reed is definitely up against it, although we know he has a Bloodbraid Elf. And you know how Jund goes, man. They resolve an Elf and all of a sudden like, he hits a Finks and things start to turn around for him.
He will be unable to crack that fetch land, that Marsh Flags he just drew.
Bloodbraid.
But Reed will play the Bloodbraid Elf like you said. Let's see what he gets. Inquisition and Kozilek.
Blanked on an Inquisition.
Not what he wanted to see.
I can't lie, I kind of get happy when I see Jund brick on those sometimes.
Can he really afford
Once again, this is our last call.
to attack here? I guess probably Shenhar doesn't have any other creatures, but if he draws a Path to Exile, Reed's dead. Like you're giving Shenhar 4 extra outs than he already has, right? He's already drawing live to Snapcaster, the 4th Helix, 2 more bolts, and now you're giving any removal spell to him as an out by attacking him.
But sitting there, it means that you're giving Shenhar all the extra outs of any burn spell, right? Just like anything that just goes to his face. So I think I like just keeping the pressure on. I mean, he can represent lethal next turn. Not anymore. Oh. Yeah, he's going to make him crack that too. So he goes down to 8.
Man, okay.
I mean, like, Reed attacks. If he has a burn spell of his own, Shenhar's dead. Like, this is actually a pretty sweet spot. Like, I mean, he needs to hit something pretty nice, but even if he doesn't, he can just leave his Goyf back the next turn. Because the Goyf has to be, what, like a 5/6 right now? Maybe a 4/5?
4/5, I still think.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think there's any enchantments, artifacts, planeswalkers, or tribals.
I'm considering Shahar's attack on that turn when he attacked with both Steplinks and Snapcaster Mage. Like, it allowed Reed to block with his Bob.
I think you just say go.
When he's at 1 life. Like,
I don't know.
The majority of his deck, 2/3 of his deck costs mana, right?
Yeah.
So Reed's going to get in with the 4/5 Tarmogoyf here, dropping Shenhar looks down to 4.
Jund will often run a large amount of lands, but even then it's like 27 or something like that. All right, and we're going to do 2 damage to each creature with a Jund Charm, and that kills the Steplinks.
Let's see what Shenhar draws.
He's got a lot of live draws here, and he's got a lot of dead ones too.
Yeah.
Attack you.
Path
you. Oh, man.
This game's going down to the wire.
This is definitely going down to the wire.
Let's see if Reed has a follow-up, if he's got another guy or...
This is where
Yeah,
cards
two
like
cards.
Bloodbraid Elf are just insane, right? Like,
Well, I mean, if he had Bloodbraid Elf, he would have played a pre-combat,
no,
presumably.
for
but
sure.
if he draws it off the top
That's
next
what I
turn-
mean. Like his top decks are
Yeah.
very, very good in that way. Is this Liliana?
Okay.
It is.
I will discard a card.
So he's just going to
Go.
plus her, discard the land that he can't crack anyway, and say go.
Snapcaster, Lightning
on
Bolt.
Lightning Helix, and you're dead. Well,
Okay, good game.
all right, Bolt, whatever, but okay, and he got there. So wow, that was a very tight one down the finish. I think I don't know about playing that Bob. That felt like super risky to me after knowing what
Yeah.
you knew about Shahar's hand. Now, I don't know.
Yep.
Was it Bob and then Lightning?
What?
Was that the sequence? Because
I'm
remember,
used to it, so.
I believe he drew the Blightning after he cast the Bob.
okay, because that would make some more sense. Like if you go, okay, I'm going to play a Bob,
'Cause-
but I'm going to tear apart his hand. Like if he casts a creature on his turn, then I go Blightning you, and you're going to end up discarding like potentially 2 burn spells, and I can see that being a little bit more of a plan. Now, as it turns out, Shahar had drawn a remand, and then the Blightning didn't resolve, and all of a sudden things got a little ugly.
So that was a game where we saw really the damage that lands can deal to you when you're playing a deck in Modern. I mean, Shahar had a lot of burn in his hand. He had 9, 12 points of burn. But to be fair, Reed dealt himself probably 6, 7 damage
Okay.
from his own lands, right? And that's why he was so close. He was skirting on the edge. If that Bob ever hit something other than a land, Reed would have been toast.
Yeah. And I from what I've seen in Modern, there's a border, right? So if you want to play a 2-color deck, you can get really good mana pretty easily, and even afford to play some colorless utility lands.
Yeah.
Like things like Mutavault or Tectonic Edge. When you go into the 3-color realm, there's 2 ways to approach it. The first one is no compromise. Like I want my colors and I want them every turn, and you're going to be taking a ton of damage.
Just like Reed's deck.
Right. Now, the other way you can go is you can be 3 colors and set yourself up so that you don't take quite as much damage off of it. You can have enter the battlefield tapped lands. You can have, the fast lands from the Scars block, which, come into play tapped after you've already got 3, which will slow you down a little bit, but be pretty good. But like you said, it looks like Reed Duke just went for the, nope, we're getting our mana.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the way that Jund decks operate. I mean, if you remember Jund from Standard,
I do.
one of its big problems was getting lands on time to be able to
Yes.
cast its stuff. If it can cast its stuff, it can do really, really powerful things
Yeah.
much more quickly than their opponents.
Yeah.
And so that's why Reed's deck is on a no compromise. I mean, Shahar's deck is also very similar.
It's the same.
He doesn't want to compromise.
Lightning Helix, Remand,
Yeah.
he's playing Geist of St. Trefli. These are very, these are color-intensive spells. Lightning bolts, that kind of stuff.
So let's take a look at these players' sideboards. Looks like Reed's got sort of a sideboard of hate, but it looks like he's almost definitely going to board in Kitchen Finks against the aggressive
man,
deck.
Shahar's sideboard's super spicy.
What does Shahar got?
So the first card, I don't want to say the whole thing, but if you guys know the format, you'll be able to figure out some of it. The first card on his sideboard is Sphinx of the Steel Wind.
But Shahar's deck operates off of so few lands. How could he cast it? It's
And
a
it
lot of
also
mana.
doesn't have black in it. So, yeah. We'll see if Shahar goes for that plan. If he doesn't, I'll let it be spoiled through other means. But that's pretty awesome.
I agree. I think Shahar does have 4
Transformative?
Molten Rains. I think he's going to board those in because
Wow,
similar
4
to
Molten Rains.
to Standard, when Jund was the deck in Standard, their mana base is again sort of fragile. If you hit one of their lands, both that they might be knocked out of a complete color,
Yeah.
then also all their lands are non-basic, so you're dealing 2 to them
Yes.
as is. Maybe he doesn't board it in. Maybe he doesn't want to. He'd rather just be an aggressive deck. But
I would.
I might too.
You know how you were talking about Jund when it was in Standard? Like its mana base was always the thing that you could attack. It was the only axis that you could ever get ahead on
Right.
against them. And while the mana's a lot better here in Modern, they still need all those colors every
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So yeah, taking them off of critical dual lands seems really good.
Looks like Reed's going to take a mulligan here.
Yep.
It's clear that those Molten Rains are for the Urzatron decks.
Yes.
But I know that some people were boarding in these land destruction spells also against Jund.
Yeah, it
for
happened
that
against
reason.
me again playing online. with a Rug deck, which has a similar mana base to Shahar's, where it's greedy, it wants its colors now, and Reed Dukes is also similar, and you can, you get that random factor where you hit that one land and that happened to be their only red source, and they've got 3 red cards in their hand, and now they're desperate.
Yeah.
Which is great.
I mean, if I'm Reed, I'm not going to be boarding Fulminator Mage against Shahar's deck.
Okay.
But just because, if you think about it on sort of a more basic angle, Reed's going to be the control deck in this sort of matchup, and Shahar's probably going to be the aggro deck.
Yes.
So you don't want to be attacking the aggro deck's lands. You want to, if you're the aggro deck, you want to start attacking lands, which is why Shahar might board in Molten Rain. But Reed, the control deck, doesn't want to be doing that. He doesn't want to attack on that axis.
Great point, for sure.
So Reed's looking at his 6-card hand.
Jund can transition to the control route pretty seamlessly as well. That deck can grind you down.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of saw it in that last game, right? Reed attacked Shahar's hand.
Yep.
And then played Tarmogoyf and started getting in, attacking for 4. Once he, stabilized at 1 life and landed a guy, he started attacking, and that's sort of how the control decks operate.
Yeah. Yep. All right, fetch land face-off here. We did not see a turn 1 Inquisition from Reed. He's going to go grab, a dual
Blood Crypt. It looks like
a Blood Crypt, yeah, and take the minimum amount of damage for it.
I think what's more interesting is that Shahar doesn't have turn 1 Steplings.
Or a Delver.
Or a Delver, yeah.
Definitely a key part to his game plan, so that's a big deal.
Let's see if Reed's got a 2-drop or what. It looks like he drew a Grim Lavamancer.
Sure. Lavamancer's pretty dang good versus Shahar.
Yeah, especially when Shahar doesn't have a 1-drop.
Yeah.
Now, any 1-drop that Shahar might play is going to get or will likely get immediately killed by a Lavamancer if Reed has another card to put in his graveyard.
Yeah.
Either a Steplings or a Delver.
Yeah, the Lavamancer tends to kind of feed itself, like you use a removal spell on something critical, and now you have a Lavamancer activation to take away something smaller, like it kind of gets this momentum. Lavamancer's a card I hadn't played with until it came back to Standard in M12, and I had people tell me that it was good, and I was able to recognize that because they explained it, but I have to say, upon first reading, it's pretty, you're like, that's not that great, but then when you see it in play, it does so many things so well. It certainly earns its stripes. I also have played that card in
It's really, really good.
That's why I love it.
Especially when the format revolves around small guys. So if there's a lot of people are playing cards like Land Royal for Bird's Paradise or Delver, it's clearly really good in those formats.
For sure.
That's why I think it's better in Modern than it is right now in Standard.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. All right, Shahar's going to Serum Visions here.
A poor man's Preordained.
I'm so sad. I loved Preordained. Have you ever cast the Serum Visions after having only played Preordained in your entire life?
I cast Serum Visions before Preordained, but I at Grand Prix Yokohama I played Splinter Twin, and I felt so sad every time I cast Serum Visions. I was just like, if only this were Preordained, I'd just be crushing this game.
I always just want to draw.
Yeah.
Like I go draw, scry, draw. Like my hand draws after I scry. It's very risky business, me playing Serum Visions. I had an opponent do that to me in a PTQ, and he got a game loss for it.
So it looks like Shahar drew another Serum Visions off that Serum Visions. Kept 1 card on top.
He's going to take 2 from the Foundry here, and what is he going to play? They cost?
Lightning Bolt?
Just bolt the guy? Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead.
I'm not sure.
I think that's a German lightning bolt, by the way. Ooh, another one.
Okay. Does Reed have another play? Looks like not. Passes the turn back to Shahar.
Shipped back.
Does Shahar have a
Shahar
Geist?
takes another damage, another 2 damage from his mana base, and it is a Geist.
Okay. That's something that Grim Lavamancer can't deal with. I mean, I was wondering why Shahar wanted to get that Lavamancer out of the way. If he had a Geist, there's really no point. Yeah. But maybe he's got something else that he wants to protect.
Right, so
or maybe
I'm pretty sure we're going to see Liliana here. I haven't seen Reed's hand, but he just went and got another black source, and this would be an absolutely opportune time to Liliana Edict him.
Yep. Either that or maybe Bloodbraid Elf into Liliana.
Yeah.
Make it a little sweeter.
That's the Jund way.
Looks like he drew a forest. He's keeping his cards pretty close to his chest.
Yes.
It's tough to see.
All right, land first.
Go.
Oh, pass the turn back. That is not good.
Yeah.
Is there anything that Reduke can do to interact with the Geist now that it's not his turn anymore?
I'm looking at his deck list, and it doesn't.
He's not
look like
running
it.
Yeva.
No.
Take it.
So send it in.
12.
Take 6, go down to
Just
12.
take 6. Oh, this is very bad.
And,
No play here for Reed on turn
Okay.
4.
What could be in his hand? Maybe terminates reactive spells that can't target the Geist?
Could be.
Reed's just going to burn Shahar?
Just dome you for 2. Not plan A.
Definitely not planning
He
it.
could just be flooded on
13 to
lands
12.
as well.
Reads it.
I see a Jund Charm.
I'm at 13.
But
Why didn't
is he waiting to play around Spell Pierce here?
Maybe.
Because taking 6 is a pretty steep cost to play around Spell Pierce. He passed the turn back, so he's going to do it on Shahar's upkeep.
Yeah, but I think he had that Jund Charm last turn. Why didn't he do it during Shahar's upkeep that turn? I mean, the only counterspell he's seen on Shahar's deck is Renet, so
Yeah. I mean, Spell Pierce is the only thing that, for that mana, could just counter it.
right. I mean, I guess yeah, maybe Reed wanted to get 2 extra lands up to be able to pay for Spell Pierce, but
Well, that's what I mean. Yeah.
yeah, he's.
Oh, he's letting him draw.
I'm confused.
Uh-oh. Is that Kamigawa land that prevents damage to legendary creatures?
Yes, it is a Ganjo Castle. So that Jund
Can't
Charm.
react to that. This is where Reduke says, so with Egangel Castle on the stack.
He's got to hope that Shahar taps out for some reason.
Oh, that's got to be heartbreaking from Reed's side if his game plan was to Jund Charm here.
All right.
Yeah.
6.
He just has to take it because now he just needs another creature.
Reed really needs a Liliana. That's the only way that he's going to be able to get out of this little trouble.
We see that Shahar does have a Watery Grave, so he can cast spells which are black. It doesn't look like he's gone for his rather radical sideboard plan
Well,
here.
both of the cards in his radical sideboard plan are in his hand.
Oh, are they?
I believe so.
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay, so maybe he did go for his radical sideboard.
So Reed's going to fetch
Yeah.
at end of turn, go down to 5.
Either way, it's he can still block the Geist and take 4 and be
Thin
alive.
out his deck, yeah.
Maybe he Jund Charms now and hopes to draw another. Gets the castle activation out of the way. I mean, desperate acts, right? I don't know. He's using his Lavamancer now. It looks like he might do it. Nope. Not a viable plan. There's a bolt.
I don't think that's going to do it.
Geist of St. Trapped is just staring at him from across the board.
And that Ganjo is just
That's nasty.
holding
It's a
back.
one of, right? It doesn't come
Yep.
into play tapped or anything,
Nope.
right? So it's just,
Well, a legendary lane. That's the only downside.
okay. But it's a near free roll to play this card.
Attack for
Yep,
1.
as long as you've got legends in your deck.
Attack,
Go to 9. Go.
go. So it looks
What is
like,
going on?
well, maybe Reed's out here is that Shahar forgets to activate it. Because blocking actually does keep him alive a turn, though.
Maybe he can double bolt the angel. So he's going to Jund Charm and then bolt the angel. Shahar's going to activate a Ganjo.
And so Reduke only takes 2 this turn.
Wait,
Where did the angel go?
lightning bolted it. But
Okay, he already knew, I guess.
Okay.
Shahar has a lightning bolt of his own, so it doesn't
and
matter.
that's the game. So Shahar was able to really push his game plan forward in both games pretty strongly there, where Reed was able to draw
Man, that was a lot of.
cards that would be reasonable in most matchups, but not the ones that he needed to deal with the threats that Shahar was presenting at the